Namaste. This is Sujata Vaidya, student of MS Veda and Vedic Philosophies, Vedic Wisdom, attempting my oral examination for Essence of Hindu Dharma. The topic I will deal with is the ashram system. Our Vedic philosophy clearly tells us that the purpose of this human life is to be self realized and come to the stage of moksha. The moksha is possible only when the person has come into the maturity of overcoming all his desires, paying all his debts, and completely renunciating from worldly desires, worldly activities, and all the possible rin that he has to pay in society. So, when people have to come to this stage, our Vedic philosophies clearly tell us that a person has to first learn various aspects of life, the Vedic scriptures itself. He has to complete his duties as a part of society, as a part of family. He has to exercise his strengths, exercise his skills to create the means to fulfill his desires. He has to go into a state of contemplation where all the mundane things of life that have been learned and experienced, he finds deeper meaning into all of these. And then, once he has gone through all these stages and is completely satisfied and matured about these topics, can he come into a state of renunciating all of these for utter meditative self contemplation that takes him to moksha. Manusmruti in 6.88 clearly gives the importance of what is created as the ashram system. Ashram system is also given due importance and exposure in the Mahabharat Shanti Parva, and it is also mentioned deeply in the Bhagavad Gita. Only those people who follow the ashram system validate themselves to reach the state of moksha itself. What are these four ashrams? First is Brahmacharya ashram, Gruhastha ashram, Vanaprasthan ashram, and the last one, of course, is Sannyas ashram. Let us understand the highlights of these four ashram. Brahmacharya is the stage of life when the person explores into the meaning of Brahma, expands his mind to learn. This is a stage of education and, very importantly, of self discipline. Brahmacharya is not abstaining from desires. It is actually cultivating that desire to learn more under the guidance of a guru, and invariably, the Brahmacharya ashram is within the Gurukul system in the home or abode of his guru. Here, the study of the Veda, the Vedanga, and the allied knowledge systems is undertaken. There is definitely a lot of emphasis on celibacy, but this is actually self restraint, where the discipline goes into maintaining a healthy body, mind, mannerisms, and humility to learn and explore into the various different knowledge aspects that the guru teaches. Lot of emphasis is given on mental focus and especially moral strength. The student is trained in the social duties and needs to understand the value of all the learnings that he has done. It is actually the primary preparation to allow the person to enter a successful gruhasthashram, householder's life, and at the end of his journey in the gruhastha, undertake contemplation to reach the higher goals, which are learnt during the Brahmacharya ashram. This is invariably the first stage of his life, from the time he joins the Guru's ashram till about 18, 19, 20, which is the learning phase. The next is the Gruhastha ashram, or the ashram, the householder's life that he has to live. This is the time when he leaves the Guru's sanctum and enters society. As a person, as a responsible person of society, his duties lie with family, with progeny, with protection of his within society, with duty to the king and kingdom, and obviously for proper self preservation. This is the time when he has to perform his karma guided by dharma. Very important. In this particular ashram, the important parts that he must inculcate is hospitality and charity, the aspect of dana, the dharma of dana, contribution to the economy and the social stability of his particular society. He has to follow the cultural traditions, perform yajnas to appease the gods for higher gains. Ethical living is the very important aspect of Gruhastha ashram, maintaining a family and promoting the very family. This is one of the most important ashrams, because it is only in Gruhastha ashram that the person can support all the other three ashrams, where artha is not possible. Means of income is not possible either as a student or as a person who has renounced the world. This stage exists till maybe around the 50s or 60s, and we can associate the end of Grihasthashram with what we would consider as a time of our retirement in modern day life. The third is the Vanaprastha Ashram. If a direct translation is given, it means a forest dweller. But the actual truth is, Vana is where there are trees, and they have two meanings that I can share. One is connecting the ground to the skies, so from going to from the material to the spiritual. The second is a place of isolation where he is not disturbed by the duties of the Gruhastha, and he can enter the stage of self contemplation to understand what he has gained in life. What is the actual meaning of the yajnas? Is it necessary to be ritualistic to reach higher goals? Over here, he has to practice tapas, contemplation. He has to learn to go into detachment, which is vairagya. At the most, as a part of society, he is there as a guide and a mentor. And this is the stage where he renounces his possessions, his pride as a part of society. This is a very important and very strategic ashram which bridges the material with the spiritual aspect of the human life. From the Brahmacharya ashram and the Grihastha ashram to the Sannyas ashram. The fourth and the most profound ashram, that is the connecting point between the individual I and the Almighty, is Sannyas ashram. Here, the person has renunciated all his attachments to the Gruhastha, to any sort of action, yajna, and the pursuit is of only moksha. The person lives on alms, where he has overcome or completely given up his ego and pride of possession. He has abandoned a social identity and spends time in self introspection, meditation, and his journey towards Atma realization and the unity with Brahma. This is the embodiment of universal compassion that has to be exercised in sannyas ashram. Invariably, This is the last stage of a human's life. There are definitely those who are born with inherent knowledge, who have no desire for gruhastha, and who have completed contemplation and lead their life only as sannyasis. But for the common man to understand his dharma, his position in society, the duties that are expected of him in a line with the progression of the ashrams, the ashram system is considered extremely vital.